Mental health challenge seems to be very rampant now in Nigeria. Cases of people jumping into the lagoon to commit suicide every now and then appear in the news, with reckless and hostile behavior a commonplace thing in society. What could be the cause of increase in mental illness and how can it be handled? I am Blessing Aichi. This is Report on ITV.
People are going through a lot this period, especially in this part of the country, Nigeria. We are really hoping that things get better, but people are going through a lot. Depression, situations that are beyond human control, fear of what they can't control, uncertainty, what's going to happen. So those things are more than enough to cause mental health. I'm a pastor. I do not disregard the presence of spirituality, but I still tell my people that not everything sometimes is spiritual. There are some things that common sense can solve. To a large extent, the church has kind of contributed. People now think that everything is spiritual. When you say you have mental health, God forbid, not my family, it's not possible. But sometimes it's just common sense, just little troubles of the mind. And so people deny it because they just believe everything is spiritual or something. But it's real. The Bible says that wisdom is profitable to direct. So by wisdom, we can undo it from the two parts. In fact, I believe the two can work together. Both the spiritual and the professional part can work together. So I do advise people. I think our elders told us those days when we were going that a problem shared is a problem half solved. So yes, go ahead, seek professional help, talk to people. I went through my own, and my mom was there to help me, to speak to me. It was not about prayer, it was just simple word of encouragement. And professional people do have this thing, they study, they went to school for it. So why not? You should go ahead, seek help, share the problem with somebody that is reasonable, and you will see that things will get better.
I don't think it's about being bewitched, even though it's part of it. But I just feel persons who get to a point where they are broken into pieces as a result of mental challenge, it's because they just did not speak to the right person. Because as a counselor, we meet with them again and again. You meet with persons who are at the verge of suicide, and you just give them a word or two, and they are revived, they are back to life. So mental challenge is something that is so rampant in our time, and we have to rise up to it, else we'll get more disaster coming from persons who are challenged, especially in marriages where you have husband and wife having so much of that, especially in Utah season. You have so much of that. You see men, even, I mean, we should eat rice in peace. I shouldn't eat rice now and then get to go for my husband's obituary after the Utah season. But you know, when the heart is overloaded as a result of words that were spoken, and then the mental health will certainly be affected. And if at that point that person is not able to talk to the right person, because they speak to a lot of people. It's one thing for you to speak to somebody, it's another for the person to be the right person you should speak to, that will be able to bring you out of the point of breaking into pieces that you found yourself. Our major emphasis is, if you are having that challenge, don't shy away from talking to somebody. Don't hide under that thing of, oh, they will say I used to be that. If somebody call you, if somebody tell you used to be mental challenge and all that, and you are alive, is it not better than you die? And because you decide to bottle up your issues to yourself, I'm of the opinion that we should speak out. We should not conceal these things.
On mental illness is that it is a disease of the brain. And unfortunately, it's there. It's always been there. But in this part of the world, many people believe that it is always related to spiritual issues. So we're creating an awareness to let people know that it happens due to sometimes chemical imbalance, sometimes hereditary from the family, and we're trying to create that awareness to have people seek help as much as possible when they experience certain symptoms. Unfortunately, the issue of economical instability, it's a problem across the world. It's not only in Nigeria. I live in the US, and we have a lot of people that are struggling with mental health. But the fortunate thing is that the government provides facilities for free for patients who are dealing with mental health. Their medications are covered, inpatient services are covered, and they don't have to pay a dime out of their pocket. So I would say that for us to create this awareness is not enough, but if the government can provide facilities and places where patients dealing with mental health can go and get free treatment, irrespective of their economic or financial status, that's going to help a lot to eradicate or decrease the rate of mental health illnesses in Nigeria.
Mental health has to do with an individual's emotional, psychological and social well-being. And of course, before you say someone is mentally healthy, such an individual should be able to cope with stresses, should be able to work productively, should be able to make a meaningful contribution to his community. And of course, mental illness tends to affect several domains of life. It may affect the individual's mood, the thinking and the behavior. And of course, there are so many misconceptions about mental illness. Some people believe that mental illness is not treatable, or once one is mentally ill, that's the end of life. That's not true. There are persons who have mental illness and are treated and doing very wonderfully. I share with us of one of our clients who have mental health issue, was treated and functioning optimally. So I want to say that the diagnosis of mental illness is not a sentence of death. There are several signs that may suggest a possible mental health disturbance. For instance, if someone is withdrawing to self and someone is feeling unnecessarily sad or keeping to himself, or hearing strange voices that others don't hear, or someone is feeling hopeless, worthless, or helpless, or even someone having some pessimistic thoughts of harming himself or harming herself. These are signs of mental illness. These are possible indicators of mental ill health.
Luke was one of Jesus' disciples, and he was a medical doctor. So that tells you medicine or science is part of the scripture. Christ heals perfectly. We believe in divine healing. There are some healing that needs medical professional to counsel you. When it is spiritual, there's what we call spiritual therapy, emotional therapy, or physical therapy. So as a pastor, you handle the spiritual and leave the physical to the doctor. It will make the work easy and make it complete and perfect for the patient. Like I do say most of the time when I'm doing family counseling, everything is not witch, everything is not wizard. It depends on the word or the information that you receive. Look at the high rate of suicide in our society. Well, you see that I wouldn't say the society failed, the church failed, family failed. If we the family are doing their job very well, the society is doing the job very well, and the church is doing her job very well, the rate of suicide will reduce.
Yeah, to enhance mental health, people need to understand who they are, understand their strengths, understand their weaknesses. Because if you understand that there are things I can do and there's a limit to which my strength can carry, you stick to it. So if people understand their strengths and their limitations, it will help them a whole lot. Some persons who don't have personal values, some persons just follow others because of what people's values differ. Some persons' value may be honesty, while other persons' value may be money. So if someone's value who is honesty and is following somebody who values money by any means, will end up running out of the values that he has placed. Even if we believe that social interaction is very good, but it's also key that you understand people who mean well for you, people who engagement, social interactions that will boost your mental health. There are some social interactions that will not boost mental health. It can only make it worse. Social interactions that will make people use substances, social interactions that will lead to critical comments and all that. Some persons, once they see an individual, the only thing they can do is to rubbish the person, to speak ill of the person. So if you understand that this environment is toxic for me, so then you have to work towards either pressing one button, delete that relationship, or seek help, look for a way to adjust. Relationship is not by force.
People hardly go for medical attention when there is a sudden upset of their body system or mental health. Most of them attribute it to maybe their villages, they attribute it to wherever they are coming from, not actually what they are suffering from. So these are some challenges, and then other challenges has to do with poverty. I've seen people who are poor, situations they are going through could have been handled, but most of them will receive lessons from people, take these herbs and mix with this, and time will keep going and time will keep going. Before you know it, that person's state will become very precarious and it can be irredeemable. There are so many people on the street suffering from acute schizophrenia, but they are seen as mad people. And even schizophrenia has a level that the person can be restored, and there is a way it can be managed, it can be treated. But these are the awareness that we have at least tried to bring to people so that they can understand that anybody who has any form of mental illness, the person is not, you don't have to leave the person, maybe the person's case is closed or something because the person is no longer relating normally. There are things that can be done to handle, ameliorate, or to correct every form of anomaly that is associated with mental health.
According to experts, there are several factors that could predispose a person to mental illness. This can be made worse by economic hardship that further adds pressure to the stress of life. They have been advised that regardless of a person's religious affiliation, they should open themselves to the services of mental health experts where a person has been diagnosed to have one mental illness or the other. Governments and other organizations have been encouraged to assist with the bills of persons suffering mental illness as they can be redeemed and restored to mental health. I am Blessing Aiche.